Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey YouTube, it's the Pied Piper. I'm coming to you today and it's kind of late, so I'm actually coming to you tonight. And I wasn't really in a place where I wanted to do a video, but I'm doing a video because I promised myself that I would be on top of my videos. So here goes now. This video is kind of, I don't know, it's going to be kind of like the things like the ish I don't like kind of video, but not really, because it's more like stuff that I haven't ever really said to anyone. But also, before we get down to that, Happy New Year. I hope everybody's having a good start to their 2019. I'm just happy the holidays are over because I despise the holidays. I'm going to do a video based on, and I apologize in advance if my phone does anything weird. It's plugged in and I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb before I started filming, so you might get some of that. So this video is going to be called kind of like Flavor in Your Ear, or just if you don't know, now you know, because there's just things about me that I thought I would share. And the only reason I'm doing this realistically is just because I'm trying really hard to stay up on my uploads, and so this is just a video that I plan to do at some point. It's probably not even well thought out, so it's not going to be very long, but thanks for tuning in anyway. One of the things that I don't think anybody really knows about me is that I am not anti-America by any stretch of the imagination. I'm all Team America, but I have always thought that if I was going to ever, because I believe in soulmates, I know that's weird, but I always thought if I was ever going to find somebody, that it would probably be someone who lived overseas or, far away. So I learned all these languages so that I could know how to communicate with people. I like to communicate, and it's hard to do when you don't know languages. So for the last 2.5 years, I've been learning Korean. And I have a huge stack of note cards and all these different learning materials to learn Korean, and I'm doing okay. But if I never go to Korea, it's going to be really weird that I know Korean. I also think that I would do really well in an Asian country because I have a very sensitive digestive system. And so I believe that that kind of food, their normal diet, is something that I eat regularly here in America. So I feel like, why not travel? I'm weird because I always thought my whole idea was always there's got to be more to life, and not that America is horrible, but I've always thought there's got to be more, there's just got to be more to life, right? And so I always felt like if I was going to find my soulmate, or I was going to meet the one, he was probably in another country. So places that I really want to go are the UK. I've seriously looked into how to immigrate to the UK, but then I heard it was easier to go through Ireland or something like that. Anyway, if you know, drop some comments. But I've also wanted to travel to France. I learned French a long time ago and thought it'd be great, and now I just know French and have never gone to France. I've always thought that there was just more to life than just America, and I didn't want to be small town, and obviously I'm not a small town girl. I am sort of, because I am from the Midwest, but from a small town, but normally I don't think of it like that. So I've always wanted to go to the UK or Russia, or I don't know any Russian though, but I always just thought my dream person is probably in Russia somewhere, and I've never met him because he's in Russia or he's in the UK or he's Korean, whatever the case may be. I wanted to go there. Or Germany. I've always wanted to go to Germany too. But I'm not anti-America. I'm not but I would love to have citizenship to another country. And with the state of affairs in America right now, I think that a lot of people would like to have a membership, or it's not a club, not a membership, but a citizenship in another country. So there's that. Well, this is my second thing that probably nobody knows about me. In the last 3.5 years, I have, probably maybe 4 years actually, I have actually had all of my greatest fears realized. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. barring some apocalyptic events, other than that, every single one of my fears has been realized. And I'm not going to get into it, but I've had some really horrible stuff happen in the last like 4 years, like devastating. I don't even know how I get up in the morning, but I'm trying. But speaking of my greatest fears, there are a couple of fears that I have that are so ridiculous and they're like apocalyptic events. And these are the only fears that have not been realized in the last 4 years. So one of them is apocalyptic flooding. I don't know why, but like the scariest story for me is the whole Noah's Ark thing. When he builds the ark and the earth is flooded. I always, and if you're not Christian, then obviously you may not believe in that, but I am Christian, so I do. And I apologize if I'm offending you with my Christian beliefs, but it's just funny because I had this idea that in that time, like I always imagine it, even when I saw the movie, what was it, Evan Almighty or something like that, it was like the spin-off of Bruce Almighty, but with Steve Carell or whatever, but he has to build the ark. My biggest fear is that the world would get like flooded and I don't know how to swim. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can doggy paddle and like save my life, but if it comes to any more serious swimming, I'm done for. But I've had like recurring nightmares of floods. And so I've always thought like, oh my gosh, that would have been the scariest thing ever is a flood that flooded everywhere and there's no way to get out of it. You're just like drowning. It's crazy. Just take my word for it. It's a bad look. The other thing that is one of my fears that I have not realized is, you know how some people are afraid, I'm going to put this down because it's me, but you know how some people are afraid of heights? They see they're up high and they freak out. That is not who I am. I actually love roller coasters. I love stuff like that. But I have this weird fear, and it's sort of a fear of heights, but I don't even know how to classify it because if I'm ever up somewhere high, I'm not afraid to look over the railing or even be that place. What I'm afraid of is that one day, if you saw the movie Bird Box on Netflix, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Because you know how all those people were like staring into like whatever they were seeing, and then they would do something crazy like the one woman. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, go watch Bird Box before you watch this part. But you know the woman, how like she saves Sandra Bullock, and then she like looks off in the distance and she sees something and she just gets into a car and lights on fire. That's how this is where my fear of heights kind of comes in. I have this fear, I have this fear that I'm gonna be like up somewhere high and I'm gonna be looking over the railing of like, I don't know, the Empire State Building or whatever. Just I'm looking over the railing and it's really high up. And I have this fear that out of nowhere I'm just gonna decide to jump. And it's so weird. It's not, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do that. But for some reason, in my mind, I think, oh no, that's too far down. I'm not going to just break a leg. That's where the fear comes in. But it has nothing to do with actually the heights itself. It's not like I feel like I'm going to get pushed over. It's always like of my own accord. I'm just going to like jump for some reason. It's weird. One of the other things that I guess you probably don't know about me is that I am 30, 30, sorry, I can't finish that sentence. I'm in my 30s. And I have never lived with a man, technically. And when I say that, I mean like I've never like merged my stuff with a man's stuff. I've never moved in with a man or assumed a lease with a man. I just never have had that life for whatever reason. I just have not ever done it. Like I've had people like stay in my house for like a minute or something, but I have never actually like merged my life with anyone else's ever. Um, just never take a shower with anybody, never done any of those things. Like I just never have had those experiences before. I want them, but I haven't. So did you ever see that episode of Friends whenever Monica is talking to Rachel and at first Rachel takes Monica's like moving in with Chandler is like no big deal. She's thinking it's okay. But then whenever she finally like sets in and Monica like tries to make her feel bad, sad about it, and finally when they do get sad about it, Monica says, "Oh, I'm gonna live with a boy," and that's kind of how I am. I still kind of think that. Like, I don't know what it would be like to have to share my closet space or, go in. Like, when you merge your life with somebody, like, that's it. Like, you really are together. And I'm not afraid of commitment, but I'm like, I don't know. That's a big step. I'm very leery of that step. I don't know why. Like, obviously, I want that, but I think I don't even know how I would handle it once it comes up. But I have never done anything like that before. One thing that's kind of interesting is I always wear a bra. TMI, right? But I always wear a bra. Um, and I wear a bra that's one size too small for me. And I don't know why. I was younger and I heard some weird old wives' tale about wearing a bra, and so for some reason I just always thought like, oh, I should do that. So like, I'm always like busting out, and I'm like, I don't want anybody to see me naked because they're gonna be like, why don't you have the right bra? It's weird, but that is one of the things that nobody knew about me, and now you know, and now you know you're in on the secret, and you can't tell anybody. So the secret. Anybody who really knows me right now knows that I am scared of insects and bugs and just anything. I'm not a huge insect person. I mean, I don't think anybody is, especially like roaches and stuff. But I am like not even a lizard person. But the funny thing is when I was a little kid, I used to catch lizards and pull off their tail just because I wanted it to grow back and I wanted to see the tail still move. That's how crazy I was. But like I liked animals. Like I liked one time, and I'll tell you the story. One time when I was probably like maybe 5, 6, I don't know, probably 5. But I was with my older sister at one of her friends' houses, and her friend had mice in a little aquarium thing on the ground. And we were told not to play with the mice, but I was a little kid, and I was like, I want to play with this mouse, because it was cute and little, and its mummy had just had it and given birth to it, so there was like a whole bunch of little mice all around this mama mouse. And so I wanted to see it, and it looked so cute. It was pink, so I reached into the tank thing and picked up the mouse by the tail and like let it scamper on my hand for like a couple seconds, and then I picked it up by the tail again and put it back in there. And guess what happened? The mama mouse and its babies devoured that one, and I felt horrified. I watched it happen and didn't know what to do. I felt so bad. I was so scared, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, they're eating it." I didn't learn until way later in life that the reason why the mommy ate it was because it had my scent on it, and so the mama mouse didn't recognize it anymore or something like that. And I might be explaining this wrong, but I was mortified when I saw what they did to it, and that's kind of where I got a fear of animals. Well, not animals. I like other animals. Like I love dogs and like barnyard animals, but I'm scared of like little rodents and insects now. And then when I was younger, I also used to, those little shells that like the locusts or whatever leave behind on the trees. I used to collect those. I used to have this little box full of locust shells. Like, put this to the side again. It was like this big, and it was full of all of the shells that I had collected over my little kid life. And I still had it up until like a couple years ago. Like I still own that same thing, and like I had taped it together, and so it was just this little box full of locust shells. And then I also used to catch crickets and things. Uh, but now as an adult, I don't even want to touch a cricket. I don't want to touch any bugs. I've never liked spiders, but which is another weird thing about me is that how old was I? I think it was in my late 20s. I was bitten by a brown recluse, and I still have a scar from what happened because it's like a flesh eating thing. Oh, it's gross. But it's a little scar now because they had to like push out all the venom and everything. It was a really gross situation, but it's healed up nicely. But no, so I do not like rodents or insects or anything like that anymore. But it's funny because when I was a little kid, I was a kind of a tomboy, and so I loved all of that. Oh, another thing that maybe somebody doesn't know about me is that I think it was like a year ago. Yeah, a year ago, maybe a little bit more. I used to collect makeup. It was one of my favorite things to do, which is funny because I don't really like to wear makeup all that often. And when I'm kicking it alone, I never wear makeup. But I like to do makeup. And I used to have this idea that like I was going to help every woman who was like my skin tone or darker or even a little lighter, just women of color in general always had a hard time finding makeup. And so I thought like I wanted to be able to do their makeup and I wanted to be this expert. So I had gotten all this makeup and learned so much. And then about a year ago, I had like probably had saved up like $6,000 worth of makeup. And obviously I didn't buy it all in one sitting, but over time I had accumulated this nice little kit of makeup. And this woman stole all of it. So I have had to try to build up my makeup again. But now I don't have the same passion for it because, you know, when you have that passion and somebody steals it from you, it's really annoying. So, speaking of makeup, and this is a little tangent I'm going to go off on because I have been looking for a good bronzer for like ever. And I used to have this one that Sleek made, and I don't have that one anymore because, again, the woman stole it. But I'm wearing today Morphe Showmance, and then I'm wearing ColourPop eyeshadow with also Makeup Revolution eyeshadow. It's a good look. And if you're not about makeup, then that part was not for you. But it's just, I'm looking, and I have on Fenty foundation. But I have been searching high and low for a decent bronzer. And so now, if you follow me on Instagram, which you should if you don't, but I'm doing a battle of the bronzers. So I'm trying out all these bronzers so I can find one that works for my complexion. Because you guys see me on these videos, and I'm sure, you know, I usually have makeup on, but even when I don't have makeup on, my skin is a little bit lighter in person than what you guys see on the videos. I actually changed the contrast on a lot of the videos to make it my skin a little bit darker so that it looks a little bit richer, but it's actually a little lighter than what you guys see. And I'm sure you've seen pictures of me because again, if you're following me on Instagram, you've probably seen a ton of pictures of me with like out makeup on or something. And it's funny because some people think that I have all these filters for that I'm using, but it's actually no filters at all. There's a few times that I use the filter. Mostly I use the filter to blur my background because there's always some crap in the background I didn't expect, like the background that I have now. But I'm thinking of doing a thing where I change the background so it's not just white all the time. So if you guys have any suggestions on like the things that I should like showcase or stuff that I should put up, let me know because I'm trying to make my videos a little bit better. Lighting again is so horrible. I have this bright light on me right now that I'm sure you can see a shadow in the background. I'm working on it. Like video quality will be getting better, I promise. People I have heard a lot of the time, and if you're new to my channel, then hi, how are you? And I said that like I always say that, but I don't say that. What up? Anyway, if you're new to my channel, then you don't know that I pretty much rep hard for interracial relationships and diversity and race relations. Those are all very big issues to me, and I kind of try to do a lot of things that I'll go on that path. But I have heard people say things like derogatory things about like people who are pigmentally challenged or melanin challenged. I like to call them, but white people basically. And I'm joking if you get offended. I'm just joking. But people always make bad jokes about white people food and everything like that. But I will have you know, one of my favorite things in the world is green bean casserole. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. I love tater tot casserole. I pretty much like all the casseroles. Like that, if that's a white thing, then I'm totally on board. Then whatever, call me an Oreo still. Everybody does anyway. I love those. Back in the day, there used to be this song, and if you are my age, and I will probably insert the information here or somewhere around here, but there's this song, and I don't remember who sang it. I think it was Snoop Dogg was in it. It was like rap, and it said like there was a radio edit of this song, and it would be like all these bleep and all these bleep and here somebody here going bleep. Now, when I was younger and that would play on the radio, they would only play the edited version. So when I was really young, hearing the edited version, and I didn't know that there was another version, whenever it would be like all these and all these, I thought that it was saying um, all holy free holies. Sorry, that's so dumb. But I thought it was saying holy free holies. And I never understood what the song was about. And so when people would sing it, I'd be like, is that the Bean song? It was not the Bean song. And I know I'm saying Frijoles very non accent, but I actually can speak Spanish with accent very well. I'm just not doing it right now. That's all of the things I had in there for right this moment. But I just wanted to do this quick video because, like I said, I'm trying to be consistent with this content. And the only way to do that is to film even when I don't want to film. So I apologize that this video was not necessarily all that intriguing, but please leave your suggestions for different topics you want me to cover, or advice, or questions, whatever you want. I will try to make my content work with that. So look me up on Instagram, or you can check the description and I will put like links to my Instagram, Facebook, but don't write me on Facebook because I never check it. So you will be left in the wind if you go to Facebook. I do have another page on Facebook, but I'm not going to gear you to there because it's horrible. But yeah, so Instagram is pretty much the only thing that you're guaranteed to get a response from me on. Or you can always leave your comment, and I read all the comments. Sometimes I do delete crappy comments, but you already know that. So, but I do read every comment. So put your questions. If you have little random little tidbits about yourself, leave those in the comments. My next video will be probably in 2 days. Like I said, I'm trying to do Tuesday and Thursday uploads, but sometimes that might vary depending on what is happening on a Tuesday or Thursday. So it can either be Monday or Friday, but I'm trying to stay within that range. But like I said, have a nice, or I hope you're having a nice 2019. I hope it started out great for you. I don't do New Year's resolutions, but if you do, let me know what you resolved to do this year. And like always, like, subscribe, comment, share, smoke signal, Telegram, Morse code, pigeon carrier, carrier pigeon, food stamp. I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do. Subscribe, and I will get back to everyone. But also, I want to let you know that I am going to be doing a new sort of segment, and what it's going to be is dedicated to books and reading. Everybody knows that I'm an author, and so I'm going to start doing like a little small show about different authors and different books that I think that you guys should read, and I'll do little summaries of them. I have thousands and thousands of books I've read, but I'm only going to be doing interracial couplings, and every once in a while I'll throw in a different one, but mostly that will be geared towards books and movies even that you might want to watch or read that have something to do with interracial romance, just to spice up your reading catalog or your viewing catalog. So drop me some suggestions. I'm also going to be doing a 4-part series of Adventures in Dating, where I go over specifically things that I believe are my defining moments. So the 4-part Adventures in Dating saga is going to be all about defining moments, which are going to be my 4 defining relationships, like things that help me progress as a person, where relationships I learned the most from. Those are all going to be in that. So be looking for that. And like I said, like, subscribe, comment, press the little notification thing, make sure the little bell has the little things around it so that you get notifications when I upload. And that's it. Remember, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, Telegram, Morse code. Share this video somehow, and go watch the show Love and Swirl. Watch the archive. We will be coming back 2019 with another show. I just don't know the exact date yet, so please get on over there and watch some of those videos. And that is it.